Good morning, everybody. We're back on the Xperia. Obviously, I can't see what the heck I'm filming. I feel like I'm over too far that way. There we go. As long as I'm looking at the lens. So I did finally remember what I meant to talk about yesterday. So I always mention the S23 has its little quirk with the video that you get a 1 to 3 second clip of black in front of when it starts recording. So it puts a little black between each clip. The Sony, kind of like the Cinema P3 app, has an audio delay. A little bit longer. It's usually 3 to 5 seconds. That is unless you have a external microphone connected. When I had the Rhodes connected the other night, I had no audio delay. But I can't always run them. It's not feasible. So, there's a lot of little things I've learned. I do have it right now in the Pro video mode, and everything is in auto because I can't see what I'm doing if I would have put the vlogging screen on and all that crap. But I'm not going to be able to make those adjustments when I'm filming myself. Too easy. So auto mode is what's going to have to fly. I kind of want to dedicate again today with this camera, mainly because I want to set up a timeline and see if I cannot get my color correction right. I think pasting attributes from the iPhone is kind of goofing me up a little bit with getting trying to figure out why I'm getting that ease. Now, when I was just looking outside the windshield here before I turned the camera around, it looked crystal clear for the first time. It had that gray or brownish hue to it. I got most of it out, and it seems like it's an exposure thing, just like with the Samsung and HDR. So, still working things out. Last night, slept on the recliner again. I laid down early, woke up coughing my brains out, and it's got to that point where stuff is not coming loose as easy. I know it's gross, but I feel like I was feeling so good yesterday and today, or last night, I went back downhill again. It's like, I'm getting over this crap. Nah, I'm not so sure I am. It's holding on tight. No. Because I hardly coughed yesterday. I felt so much better. I didn't have any coughing fits the whole day at work until I laid down. And then I woke up, and then I was up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So frustrating. But there's a whole bunch of little things I've been, watching more videos and learning and doing more. I mentioned this a couple times too. So a lot of the YouTubers, this camera is a year old. So all the videos I'm watching are a year old. And most of the YouTubers, content creators, whatever you want to call them, tech tubers, they never did anything beyond working with the review unit. I'll have to look his channel up. He's a young Asian gentleman, and I've watched many of his different videos on different series of these cameras, the RX100. And he's got another guy that kind of films with him. I think I've watched that video of his production unit several times over the last year because I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. But the gentleman that's with him, now granted, remember when I told you, when I got the phone, it did a ton of updates. So I think they've improved a lot of things. I really feel like they do. The one thing one of the other tech YouTubers was talking about was the fact that, it is a 1-inch sensor, but Sony advertised it as a 1-inch type sensor because they're not using all of it, because the lens would have to be so big, which I think they could have got away with. Honestly, I think to make it a full 1-inch and use it, they could have done it. Some people would have still bought it. And this is the other thing about this phone. This is not for everybody. It is a very small niche of people who know how to use, more specifically, Sony cameras. Mike was talking about this. He's all Nikon. They have their own menu system. He understands Nikon. He sticks with that brand. me, I've worked with, I've done a lot of stuff with Sony cameras. Not that I know enough about them to really be anywhere near an expert. I'm still a noob on all this stuff. I'm just really kind of diving into the manual portion of this. But unless you're a super enthusiast and you bounce from Canon to Nikon to Sony and you understand all the menu systems, if you're coming from Sony, say like the RX100 or even the RX10, the menu system's going to feel pretty familiar. Not exact, because it's touchscreen and there's some things not there. And it's, the layout's a little bit mobile-ish. There is so many things that you can do with this thing, but this phone has a very small niche of who it's going to be for. Me particularly, like I keep going back to, is you turn the iPhone on, you hit record, you're in one basic mode. You don't have to think about much. For making normal everyday content, works beautifully. You got to do some fiddling, I think, with this one. We'll see how this comes out. It's going to be a super long opening clip. And, I do get off at 1 o'clock today, so we're going to see what we can do weather-wise. Supposed to get to like 41. Maybe get the doggies to a park somewhere. Maybe we'll do the airport. Maybe we'll try. There's so many things I kind of want to try. And it would be best if I did them today, since tomorrow I'm off and I have time to sit and edit and do things. This is another issue I'm running into, and I mentioned this. Having that one day off and then having to go back into work for several days, doing everyday vlogs, I don't have as much time on the backside. Filming stuff, no problem. That's easy peasy. It's the backside is where it becomes. When you do a lot of, high-end stuff, getting it right. Every time you do something, here we go, re-render. So, and it takes time. Yesterday's video, I think it took it more than 17 minutes to re-render and then export it. And then I thought it was going to stall out at 88%, and it didn't. And it was like I said, it was 2 o'clock in the morning before I finally laid down the recliner and the video was uploading. Anyway, there's more things I want to talk about, but I'll have to get into that. But today we're going to go back and use the Xperia Pro I another day for trying to see if it's dedicated, and I can start. I'm going to literally do all my HDR settings and everything brand new. I'm not going to copy and paste attributes. I'm going to start from fresh, use this camera primarily solely, and we'll see how things work out. Because I'm seeing some other YouTubers' videos with this camera that look absolutely freaking amazing. And I'm not getting quite there yet. And I know it can be done. Just got to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I think starting from zero is my best option to get that. Everybody's trying to kill each other up here. That little red car that's right in front of me, he almost ran in the back of a Jeep, then moved over, and then the other Jeep cut him off, so he couldn't weave in and out of traffic. It's crazy out here today. See, now that looks super freaking dark on me. I'm not sure why. This is the type of things I'm interested in trying to correct. Got to put a different phone mount in here so I can raise it up just a little bit above the dash. I don't want to put my big one because it's too challenging to get it in and out. Since I can turn it around, it really doesn't matter. Once I get it in and lock it. Bye-bye, red car. All the snow yesterday, we had a bunch of power outages. They have a whole bunch of electric companies coming from other places to come help get people back up on power. Look at all these trucks. Jeez. They're just everywhere. At least they're willing to help. Alrighty, we are getting ready to get out of here. A little later, there's my poor associate that's been out, catching up with everything. It wasn't a great morning, but we were a little bit ahead from last year when I looked last. Okay, I really don't think I need that much heat, because it is nice outside, as you can probably tell. I'm hoping, I got things set up a little bit better here. For me, everything in auto, I just hope it's actually adjusting. I can't tell. If I had the vlog monitor on, I would know kind of what it was doing. That is not. I don't think it's a touch screen. I don't have to look. I'll have to look at it sometime. But it doesn't seem like it has that haze to it now. So that's the important thing. Ooh, dude, you gotta stop, man. You don't have right away. I do. Alright, get home. I don't know where I want to take the puppies, because it's definitely nice enough that they need to get out and go. Take them somewhere, take them for a nice little walk. Nothing super extravagant. I'm not feeling the best still. I had another couple coughing fits that drove me nuts. Right now I'm over them, but I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is anymore. Getting out and exercise seems to always help me, but you know, it's then sometimes it makes you worse. Literally had to put the defroster on air conditioning at full blast and open the windows to get the temperature warning to go out. It was still the little warning symbol went away, but the little note that it was shutting some features down to not increase temperature anymore. It recorded the whole whatever minute ride home that was, but I did some preventative things on my own too. And that was the problem I had with the Xperia Mark II. I've seen some other YouTubers say about heating problems, and some of them have had it heat up, but never actually shut down, where others with the demo versions, like I said earlier, they actually shut off completely because they got too hot. Luckily, mine didn't. Yay, ShiftCam works. Woohoo! Alrighty, well, it's keeping with the 4,000 speed shutter. We are at the park. Kind of curious to see how we make out today. It is absolutely gorgeous. A little windy. And this is just in the, right now, we're just in the ShiftCam. Give this a try. See how it works out for us. I don't know about zooming now, though, because I've turned off my volume key, so I really don't have any. Oh, I guess I do right there. Does that work? Ooh, I don't know if I can. Oh, there you can. I can zoom. Okay. It's 36, back 24. All right, so I still have touch zoom on the screen. And I think, let me just go this way real quick. If I hold it, I can zoom down and back. Okay, that works. That works. So this is a trial. I do have the remote shutter with me as well. So, but just couldn't pass up this beautiful day. It's a little breezy out, and it's in the mid 40s. Wish I would have brought the ND filter, but it's seeing the sun. I mean, that's pretty good. I do have my polarized glasses on, so everything's a little darker. But I think we're not getting that grayish look today. So I think I got some settings right. And like I was mentioning this morning, with the microphones connected, I don't get the audio delay. So, and it doesn't matter that it's actually blocking, I believe, the 50mm lens. If I was going to take photos, the ShiftCam's a little bit of an issue. Launching The shutter button and the video launch button are all covered by the ShiftCam. So maybe at some point I'll try to put one of the magnetic ShiftCam grips on and use the snap grip and see how that works with it, because then I would have those buttons accessed, because it wouldn't be anywhere near them. So it's quite windy out here. Should have put a little more on than a hoodie, I think. It's alright. We'll keep moving, and we're in the beautiful sun, so hopefully I have a little better footage today. And like I said, this is going to be solely the Xperia, just so I can do an entire timeline, just this camera, to hone in the settings. Mainly is what this is all about. Alright, so note to everybody, the ShiftCam does not work in Pro camera. The shutter button will not click. Even, oh, you know what? I gotta go into Pro camera and turn volume control off. That is why. Each one of the cameras has its own settings. I didn't go into that one. One thing I'm not so sure about is whether or not this thing, come here guys, come over here a second. Let them go by. Whether or not, I lost my train of thought. Crap. Trying to move them out of the way for another dog. Okay, that was the trick. All I had to do was change that volume control over to shutter, and yes, the Pro camera works. I have both devices connected right now. The nice thing is, it is pocketable now. And yeah, my 50mm is blocked, but like I said, in video mode, that's not such a big issue. All I gotta do is just kind of slide a little bit out, and I have it. The one question that I'm trying to figure out, whether when the phone is locked and you hit the camera button, it makes you put your passcode in every time, which kind of sucks. So you have to unlock the phone. That's one little issue. The other issue is whether or not whatever camera you used last is what one it's going to open, because it keeps opening the video camera automatically. So I think it goes by what camera you had last, because I have it set to do that. That way it doesn't change your settings, it doesn't, so as soon as you unlock it, it goes back. This is nice because I can switch hands easier. So this, I'm looking at this snow. It just kind of looks really cool with the snow on the mountain, because the sun's not, it's hit this side, so it's all green, and that side's all snow. That's crazy. Now this is the vlogging kit. The ShiftCam on with the microphones, you can still put it in your back pocket. Oh yeah, I'm digging this. And the nice thing is, if I decide that I want to switch how I have it in my hand, I can. So I can either hold it like this, or I can hold it like this. I got an extra grip. And the microphones are out of the way. This is more what I'm used to. And now that I have the ShiftCam working for the controls, I really don't need the handle. But if I wanted to zoom, I have that feature. And the thing is, like when I spin around, I can hold it with the ShiftCam now and have a little bit more of a stable grip, because the Bluetooth remote, it's just plastic. There's no real grip on it at all, so it's kind of a downside. And I was right. So whatever camera you used last, in the future I'll launch it from the lock screen. You have to put your password in, or your passcode in every time. And then on top of that, it launches whatever camera. So if you were taking photos last, you're taking photos, if you're taking videos. And they close differently too. It's kind of weird. One goes up and one goes like to the side. So a little different. Whoops. Now that time I hit the screen record button. That's okay, because I was ready to record. So you don't have to unlock it. However, you are locked into whatever mode if you don't unlock it. This tree is kind of cool. Sorry. ADD is getting me with the way the sun's hitting that thing. I wish I could go back a little bit further, but it's too late. I can screen grab that if I want. I hope I'm not zoomed at all. A little bit. You know what? Keep moving. That's what I can say. Keep moving. Was zoomed to 26, but now we're way too close. So if you press and hold on the camera, it relaunches it. But it launches it in the last mode you were in. So if you were in still camera like I was, You're locked in that camera. I don't remember how I turned that control off. And of course you have the, you can do the low angles with the shift cam. Where is my dogs? There's one. There's the other. Well, even with my sunglasses on, that looks like it's way better than it was the other night. So we shall see in post what I have to do. But so far, I think we've got this camera dialed in for me. Everybody will have their own little unique way of using it, obviously. So, just thinking through things here a little bit. Yeah, the snap grip probably is not the best option for the simple fact that it doesn't have cold shoe and it doesn't have tripod mount unless you magnetize the one to it. So that puts it back in the center of the phone. So, not really much for me, personally, a reason to switch over to that. I mean, to be able to get my shutter button back and the quick launch buttons back doesn't really matter too much. So now this time when I held the camera button, it went right back to still photos. But the last thing I did was actually film video, so maybe I'm not right about that. So we'll give it a shot here in a minute. We're making pretty good time. Wind is kind of cut down a little bit, so it's not so cold out. Like I said, the sun is definitely keeping me warm. It's keeping me company. Oh, nice thing about it is being able to switch arms with this controller pretty easy. And I think I've actually found something here I like with this a lot. And this is one of the zoom control with this nice feature. Granted, you don't have your other lenses, but 72 millimeters, if you can't get it with that, then you're too far away to begin with. For most applications, I think. Not always, I get it, but, you know. Alright. The nice thing about the Bluetooth remote is the quick spin feature on it, with the way this works with the shift cam. Now this works nice. Works really nice. What are you doing, Priya? What are you doing? It feels like they look sharper today. How's the grass looking? Yeah, I see green today. I'm not seeing that brown tint, so I think I fixed whatever I had wrong the other night. Oh, wrong P again. Okay, like I said, now having that on there, what can we look for here? Let's zoom down this way. And having that feature, it's a nice smooth zoom. Doesn't go far, but you know, it's clear. I watched that back the other night. It might only go to 72, but it's crisp. I don't feel like you lose a lot of quality, if any at all. Alright, I'm definitely going back on what I said with the this lock screen. It definitely goes only to the still camera. Most likely because that does have both. You can go to basic mode and film as well. Obviously we're not doing that. So I'm thinking that's why the other quick launch button is dedicated to the Video Pro app. And nothing is dedicated to Cinema Pro. I was playing around with that a little bit last night. Cinema Pro, here's the quirk about that one. You're going to set up a static shot with that mode. You lock everything in for a specific scene, and if you move and go from any different lighting situation, it's going to go to crap. As far as I know. You know, I only played with it a little bit last night, but I didn't film anything with it. But that's more of a, you're going to have a stationary camera, static shot. You can film a scene in different profiles and whatnot. Nothing I'll probably ever use unless I didn't have dogs with me and I had more time to set up a shot. I really kind of wish I brought the filters today though, because the thing's running a 4000 speed shutter for video. That has not changed. It is an auto. I think that's as far as it goes. I just hope going in and out of the trees, which the sun has been out the whole time, there hasn't been any clouds. So hopefully lighting isn't, working against me here too much. Now obviously with photos, depending which direction I'm shooting, I'm definitely playing around with it. The last picture I took, I had it at 8,000 shutter speed, so it's kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, you can't go low speeds like we were doing in the forest the other day in the shade, in the trees and stuff. So definitely got some nice shots because of it, I think. Alright, just for a little test, I just swapped over to my F4 because I just took a couple pictures of the sun here a minute ago. You can definitely get a much slower shutter speed with that. Just kind of curious how that looks. Because that dropped my shutter in half, which makes sense. You close the iris down in half. So maybe in bright light, switch over, because the sky looks a much different blue now. How do the puppies look? See, now I'm getting that kind of the brownish back. I don't think I can switch that while recording. No, I can't. Huh. Okay. Well, at least I know I can do it. You have to go in the menu to switch that. Am I getting the brownish back? I can't tell. I'm still seeing green grass. Okay. We're almost done with our walk here. And, get moseying on back home, I guess. One thing I want to say is thank you to everybody the new subscribers. We finally broke the 600 subscriber mark. It only took me 3,174 days. That's just vlogging. That's not counting the 99 videos that were on there prior to the vlogs starting. There's a couple little vlogs that are kind of mixed in back in the day, but well, it looks crazy with the iris closed that far. It is just like a little pinhole now. But I'm curious with the change of light here, because I'm kind of in the shade, if that's going to affect that, make me super dark. This is why we're testing, so I know when and when not to do things. The one little trick I learned on those last couple photos is don't try zooming too much with F2. That seemed to really cause a problem. Like, it got really crappy looking. We'll see in post. I think I snapped photos just to make sure. It's kind of, I mean, honestly, especially when the sun's like hitting the screen, it makes it a little more challenging to see what you're getting. Even though I have it at full brightness and everything, so. But I'm really interested. I want to get this imported and kind of get a look and see what kind of changes I need to make. Just overall, if the quality is better than the other night. Does a sunny day make a bigger difference than, or did I change settings and make the phone do more for me so I have less to worry about in post? So any of that makes sense? So good walk. I mean, I gave them both hugs and kisses and said, you guys did a really good job. I think, honestly, having this setup that I can pocket it again and the Bluetooth remote, as much as I hate to have both, having the remote zoom is a very nice feature. Plus, this gives me a kickstand. Like I said, I wish this had a rechargeable battery, and I wish it had tripod mount, so that you could actually just hook everything together. And this is what I'm actually thinking about attaching excuse me, to the Osmo Mobile as well to control the camera, but have the Osmo be able to, for stabilization. I don't know how well it'll work, how cumbersome it will be, probably tremendously. This setup, I could deal with. And what I keep talking about is, so you push this little button in, and you can rotate this whole top head separately. So I could spin the whole ShiftCam around and hold it like this for myself when I'm filming myself, and then when I'm filming them, turn it back around, and I have my control, I have my zoom, stop, start, everything's right here. Plus I have the ShiftCam if I want to hold it a different way, and this doesn't get in the way. Plus I can still put it in my pocket with this on facing either direction. It's a little weird, but it works. I might actually put the head that way next time, because I had it wide, and I think this will actually give more surface area on the ShiftCam. One thing I do want to mention with this whole setup, you are looking at this configuration right here is over $450, counting the Rode wireless goes. Adding the, I believe this is either $149 or $179 for the Bluetooth shooting grip. So this is not a cheap vlogging solution by any means at all. And you already have the Sony Xperia Pro I, which is an $1,800 phone. Now granted, they're not selling for that price anymore, but add that up. I'm not doing it in my head right now. What did I say? $455. So you're $600 just in that crap there. So $2,400. Why am I stopping vlogging? It costs more money than I make, because I don't make a dime.